Small habits, big results. MY 3-Step Health Makeover. Improving your health doesn't have to start with a strict diet, a gym membership, or a total lifestyle overhaul. What transformed my energy, my sleep, and my overall well-being wasn't anything extreme. It was 3 small habits that anyone can start today. Simple actions that cost nothing, take little time, and yet create incredible changes in the long run. And the best part, they're so easy you'll wonder why you didn't start earlier. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how these 3 habits reshaped my health and how they can do the same for you. There's a moment in everyone's life when they realize they need to take better care of their health. For some people, it happens after a big wake-up call. For others, it happens gradually. Slow changes in energy, sleep, weight, or mood that make them stop and wonder, is this really how I want to feel every day? For me, the shift didn't come from a dramatic event. It didn't come from a medical scare or a major turning point. It came from a slow, honest realization that I didn't feel like myself anymore. I wasn't sleeping well. My energy was unpredictable. Some days I felt focused. Other days I could barely get anything done. My moods bounced around. I was eating without intention. And worst of all, I felt stuck. But what surprised me most wasn't the fact that my health had declined. For me, the shift didn't come from a dramatic event. It didn't come from a medical scare or a major turning point. It came from a slow, honest realization that I didn't feel like myself anymore. I wasn't sleeping well. My energy was unpredictable. Some days I felt focused. Other days I could barely get anything done. My moods bounced around. I was eating without intention. And worst of all, I felt stuck. But what surprised me most wasn't the fact that my health had declined. It was learning that the solution didn't require a massive overhaul. I didn't need a strict diet, a strict fitness program, or expensive supplements. What I needed was something much simpler. Today, I want to share the 3 small daily habits that made a huge difference in my life. They're simple, gentle, sustainable, and incredibly accessible. Anyone can start them today without money, equipment, or intense effort. Over time, these 3 habits reshape the way I feel physically, mentally, and emotionally. In the next 10 minutes, I'll walk you through each of these habits in detail, what they are, why they work, what science says about them, and how you can start implementing them in the easiest way possible. Let's begin. The first habit is something so basic that most people overlook it completely: getting sunlight in the morning. Before I tried it, I thought it sounded almost too simple to matter. But simplicity often hides power. And morning sunlight, as it turns out, is one of the most powerful tools we have for regulating our energy, mood, and sleep. When I started exposing myself to sunlight within the first hour of waking up, just for 10 to 15 minutes, I noticed changes I didn't expect. I started falling asleep more easily. My energy throughout the day felt more stable. My mood felt brighter, and my thoughts felt clearer. But why? The answer lies in your circadian rhythm, the internal clock in your brain that decides when you should wake up, when you should feel alert, and when you should feel relaxed. Many people think their sleep problems come from stress or caffeine, and sometimes that's true. But in a lot of cases, the real issue is that their internal clock is out of sync. Morning sunlight fixes that. When bright natural light hits your eyes not through a window, not through sunglasses, but directly from outside, it signals to your brain that it's time to wake up. Your body starts producing cortisol in the right amounts at the right time, giving you the alertness you need for the day. Then 12 to 16 hours later, your body begins releasing melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep. This is why people who get morning sunlight often report falling asleep faster, waking up more refreshed, feeling more mentally balanced, experiencing more stable energy throughout the day. For me, the difference was dramatic. Instead of lying awake at night with my mind racing, I found myself naturally winding down, drowsy, and ready for sleep. Instead of struggling to wake up, I found myself alert and steady in the morning. It felt like my brain had finally found its rhythm again. The best part: this habit is free, takes only a few minutes, and doesn't require any special technique. You don't need to stare at the sun. You just need to be outside where the light is strong. If you want to start improving your health today, this is one of the easiest habits to begin with. Step outside shortly after waking up. Walk for a few minutes, sit, breathe. Let the sunlight do its job. You'll start noticing the difference within a few days. The second habit that changed my health is something just as simple: daily walking. Not running, not weightlifting, not high-intensity intervals, just walking. There's a reason walking is considered one of the most underrated forms of exercise. It's gentle on your joints, lowers stress, supports heart health, boosts creativity, and helps digestion. It's the kind of movement our bodies were built for. At first, I treated walking as something optional, something you do only if you have extra time. But when I turned it into a daily habit, I realized how transformative it could be. Every time I walked, I felt my stress level drop. Ideas flowed more easily. My breathing deepened. The tension in my shoulders melted. My thoughts became clearer. Even my digestion improved, especially after meals. Walking also has a profound effect on your nervous system. When you're overwhelmed, anxious, or mentally stalled, going for a walk helps your brain switch out of fight or flight mode and into rest and reset mode. It resets your breathing, your thoughts, and your emotional state. But the benefits don't stop there. Walking increases circulation, boosts lymphatic flow, stabilizes blood sugar, and supports metabolism. Over time, these small improvements add up. For me, the habit that made the biggest difference was walking in the late afternoon or early evening. After a long day of work, that one walk became a mental reset button. Instead of carrying stress into the night, I left it outside on the trail. But don't worry about the duration. You don't need to walk for an hour to experience benefits. Even 20 to 30 minutes a day is enough to create meaningful change. The key is consistency. Make walking part of your routine. For me, the habit that made the biggest difference was walking in the late afternoon or early evening. After a long day of work, that one walk became a mental reset button. Instead of carrying stress into the night, I left it outside on the trail. But don't worry about the duration. You don't need to walk for an hour to experience benefits. Even 20 to 30 minutes a day is enough to create meaningful change. The key is consistency. Make walking part of your routine. Not something you do only when you're motivated, but something you do because it feels good and because your body needs it. Over time, this habit becomes one of the most grounding rituals in your daily life. The third habit that transformed my health is cooking my own meals simple, easy, whole food meals. For years, I believed that healthy eating had to be complicated. I believed you needed a strict diet, detailed meal plans, and perfect discipline. But what I discovered is the opposite. The healthiest eating style is usually the simplest one. When I began cooking meals made from whole ingredients, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, healthy fats, and clean proteins, I noticed a shift almost immediately. Suddenly, my energy no longer crashed in the middle of the day. My cravings faded. I didn't feel bloated or heavy after meals. My blood sugar felt stable. My digestion improved. I realized that what my body wanted wasn't extreme restriction, it wanted nourishment. The beauty of whole food meals is that they keep your body satisfied for longer. They give you steady energy, stable mood, and better digestion. And they're much easier to prepare than most people think. This doesn't mean you have to cook complex recipes. In fact, the simpler the better. A bowl of roasted vegetables, a piece of grilled chicken, a simple stir-fry, a handful of fruits and nuts, a soup, a salad. By preparing even 1 or 2 meals at home each day, you gain control over your health in a way that takeout or processed foods simply can't match. The goal isn't perfection. You don't have to cut out everything you enjoy. The goal is balance, choosing nourishment more often than not, giving your body the fuel it needs to operate at its best.